just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos and Abuja. A reminder of our top stories. President Goodluck Jonathan condemns the attack, calls it callous, barbaric and senseless. Nigerian military also condemns the vicious attack on the college, says it's going after the group, but Governor Ibrahim Godam calls for more troops. Fuel subsidy costs federal government 862 billion naira in 2012. And US President Barack Obama threatens to withdraw American troops from Afghanistan. Just a reminder to you that all our top stories are on our website, ChannelsTV.com, and on YouTube.com/ChannelsWeb. To get us on the move, please visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Of course, you can now interact with the channel's Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions to share your reports, pictures, and videos. The Commandant of the National Defense College, Rear Admiral Patrick Agoro, has advised African leaders to fashion out ways of securing the continent without being dependent on foreign assistance. Addressing participants at the African Berlin International Conference in Abuja, Rear Admiral Agoro says the historical subjugation of Africa by the Europeans can no longer be an excuse for African leaders to remain dependent on their former colonial masters. He advised participants at the conference to come up with recommendations that could aid policymakers and governments to address some of the developmental challenges confronting Africa.
130 years ago, precisely in the year 1884, a select group of European powers sat at a conference in faraway Berlin in Germany and partitioned Africa, artificial states in quotes, along boundaries of convenience, to say that this acrimonious and random partitioning of Africa was done to serve the interests of the Europeans who would be stating the obvious. It is equally trite to say that the partitioning was the precursor to the many troubles of Africa, past and present. Some of us may agree and some might disagree, but that's my opinion. However, we as Africans, and indeed African sympathizers, cannot continue to be perpetually riddled by the errors of our distant past. We must take stock, look boldly, deeply, introspectively, and perceptively at the things that continue to hold us down, even in these modern times. Unlock them and march into the future with hope.
All right, let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Linda Akigwe. Linda.
Hello, Joma, and welcome to the nation's capital. The federal government has resolved to strengthen the office of the Auditor General to give it more impetus in the fight against corruption. President Goodluck Jonathan gave the indication while commissioning the headquarters complex of the Auditor General of the Federation's office in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The president decried a situation where a national accountability institution like the Auditor General would be allowed to operate from a 3-bedroom apartment, a situation not befitting to his image. Our State House correspondent Chukwuma Onikusi reports.
Nigerians, especially civil servants in ministries, departments and agencies, quiver when auditing of their accounts is mentioned. But not many Nigerians know that those dreaded government auditors since relocation to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, operate from makeshift buildings. President Jonathan says enough of all that. He has approved the acquisition of this building and was in the central area to commission what will now serve as the main complex of the Auditor General for Nigeria. This is born out of his conviction that the fight against corruption must be won from a conducive environment.
I commend the Auditor General of the Federation for the successful realization of this project in this important year of our centenary.
He proceeds to cut the tape as well as unveiled the wall plaque to commission the building. The commissioning attracted the Federal Capital Territory Minister and some Nigerian lawmakers who insist that the auditors are the first line of defense in the fight against corruption, even before one gets to the EFCC and other anti-corruption agencies.
Before you came, Mr. President, hardly would you see any parastatal or government agency acquiring edifices like this. I believe that we should energize this base so that it competes favorably with any office of an Auditor General in the world.
The Auditor General and his staff could not hide their joy at the commissioning. He said henceforth, Nigerians should expect international best practices in their operations. In his words, by this building, the President has sharpened the teeth of the Auditors General to bite. And bite they will, not minding whose ox is gored in the fight against corruption in Nigeria. Chukwuma Onokusi, Channels Television News.
The federal government spent about 832.6 billion naira on fuel subsidy in 2013 and about 862.6 billion naira in 2012. This figure is given by the former Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Price Regulatory Agency, Mr. Reginald Stanley, at the handover to his successor, Mr. Farouk Ahmed. Mr. Stanley added that 326.57 billion naira was saved from the subsidy removal in 2013 and 409 billion naira in 2012.
2013, the agency recorded 42.11 million liters per day, which was 18.14 million liters per day less than what was recorded in 2011. What is so spectacular of 2013 consumption is that it showed a modest increase of 5.5% on 2012 figure in an economy growing at 6.9% per annum. Statistically, gasoline consumption tracks the gross domestic product growth very closely. Therefore, this was an excellent result. Even arising from this reduction in volume of premium water storage is the huge savings to the subsidy payment of 409 billion in 2012 and 326.7 billion in 2013.
Well, we do apologize for that little glitch there, and I'm going to have to continue on. But moving on now, the Nigeria Police Force may not be able to pay the salaries of its personnel in 2014, as there is a shortfall of 14.4 billion naira in the personnel cost allocated for 2014. Well, this was revealed by the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Abubakar, at the 2014 budget defense in the Senate today. He also noted that the Budget Office earmarked 279 billion naira for the personnel cost against 293 billion required to pay police personnel.
Mr. Chairman, even the 10 billion release, I talk about constituency 4 billion was put for constituency. So if you take 4 billion out of 10, we are left with 6. And still we are expected to ensure that there is no robbery, there is no kidnapping, there is no stealing, and we are expected to ensure that our officers and men are given the best in terms of welfare. And that's why you go about, you see policemen without rank cape, you see some of them with tattered uniform. It's not because the administration does not care, we do care, but you can only give what you have. These things don't come from personal pockets, they come from a budgetary allocation made by government, and if it's not there, it is not there. It takes about 1,700,000 to kit one policeman. We are not talking about giving him a walkie-talkie, we are not talking about giving him a pistol, we are not talking about giving him a baton, we are not talking about giving him a telephone. And this is ideal police service that you want to see, and that's why when people come back to this country from England or Europe or America, they will tell you, why are our policemen not like that? And I say, because you have not provided those tools for your policemen to be like that.